As soon as Lenin died in 1924, it turned out that the second man in the Communist Party, Comrade Trotsky, was a traitor. Kamenev, Zinoviev, and Stalin conspired and overthrew Trotsky, depriving him of influence in the party. In 1927, he was expelled from the USSR. Trotsky settled in Mexico, but even there he posed a threat to Stalin. The NKVD formed two independent terrorist groups that knew nothing about each other. Later, while in Mexico, Trotsky was killed in 1940 by one of them, being struck with an ice axe. After Trotsky's downfall, the conspirators split, and an opposition formed around Zinoviev and Kamenev. Stalin, solidifying his support with Bukharin, launched an attack on them. In 1927, they managed to completely deprive Zinoviev and Kamenev of their influence. Notably, it was the same Zinoviev who had saved Stalin earlier in 1924, when Lenin's widow read Lenin's letter to the party. In this letter, also known as Lenin's Testament, Lenin criticized many Bolshevik leaders, including Stalin. He particularly recommended removing Stalin from the position of General Secretary of the party due to his rudeness and authoritarian leadership style. Zinoviev was the first to express trust in Stalin and convinced other party members to keep Stalin in the party. Bukharin did not enjoy his triumph for long either. Already in 1929, he fell out of favor for questioning Stalin's policies. Despite being deprived of influence, they remained in opposition, and in 1935, Heinrich Yagoda arrested Zinoviev and Kamenev, who were executed as traitors. Bukharin met the same fate in 1938 after a show trial. However, Yagoda himself, considered an enemy agent, was arrested by Yezhov in 1937. But within a couple of years, it turned out that Yezhov was also not a comrade but an ordinary traitor and enemy agent. Yezhov was arrested by Beria in 1938. After Stalin's death in 1953, a power struggle began, and it was revealed that Beria, too, was a traitor. Malenkov and Khrushchev, the most influential party members, ordered war hero Zhukov to arrest Beria. In June 1953, Beria was arrested at a meeting of the Presidium of the CPSU Central Committee and was soon executed. It was then that all of Beria's sins came to light. Zhukov became Minister of Defense. A little later, it emerged that Stalin was also an enemy, a saboteur, and a traitor. Khrushchev delivered a 4-hour speech on the anniversary of Stalin's death in 1956, accusing him of repression and the cult of personality. And in 1961, Stalin lost his place in Lenin's mausoleum. In 1957, an anti-party group of Stalin's associates, led by Malenkov, Kaganovich, and Molotov, attempted to remove Khrushchev from his position as first secretary of the CPSU Central Committee. Khrushchev's situation was critical. He appealed to Zhukov, pleading for his help and promising never to forget it. Zhukov, who was then the Minister of Defense, mobilized the armed forces to support Khrushchev. Thanks to Zhukov's decisive actions, the coup attempt failed, and Khrushchev retained his position. Khrushchev indeed did not forget Zhukov's support and soon exiled Zhukov to the Urals, accusing him of violating Leninist party principles in leading the armed forces. Several years later, it turned out that Khrushchev was a voluntarist, an adventurer, and an enemy. Then Brezhnev sent Khrushchev into retirement in 1964. After Brezhnev's death, it was revealed that he was also a saboteur and the cause of the stagnation period between 1964 and 1982. Then there were two more, whom no one even had time to remember, Chernenko and Andropov. But then a young, energetic Gorbachev came to power. Gorbachev initiated the policies of glasnost and perestroika, which led to large-scale reforms and the opening of information about the crimes of the Stalin era. It turned out that the entire party was a party of saboteurs and enemies, but he was going to fix everything now. It was then that the USSR collapsed, and Gorbachev was deemed an enemy and a traitor, as many blamed him for this.